Greetings, this is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm George Bolster Rhines, and you all know I've been doing this for quite a while. And I love beautiful brains when I can find them that has not been polluted and who are incarcerated and indoctrinated by the teachings of some people who may not have your best interest at heart. But today I'm here in Macon, and we at some park right across from
Titan Square.
All right, there, that's right, from right across Mercer University.
Yeah.
And what's your name, my brother?
James Thomas.
Okay, James, and what's your name?
Leroy Thomas.
Leroy Thomas. Leroy Thomas, you gonna see him on stage up here when he spoke, and he mesmerized my mind with his words. Not to mention the spirit of truth that I'm so accustomed to. But once again, I'm going to ask you, my beautiful brother, tell me something about yourself. We sit in the park. What you think about the day? What you think about the election coming up? Or do you think it's for them and not for us?
That's interesting. That last question I deal with the best I can.
Yes, sir.
But me myself, I'm retired, disabled, Air Force, Vietnam veteran. And I'm rolling up on within 24 hours from being 66 years old. I've seen a lot of things come and go. I've experienced some things I never thought I would. And it makes me cherish to be able to just sit down and just watch, see where we are, where we're going, and remember where we came from. And wished that I had more brothers that we could group together and take us to where we're supposed to be. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that in my lifetime. The good thing about what I'm saying is that I thought, and I'm not the only person, but I thought that, and like I said, I'm not the only person, but a lot of people around me thought that they would die and they would never see a black president.
Me too.
That's right.
But God had to show us that He's in charge. He's in charge. No color of a person is in charge. But God is in charge, and He showed us that. And a person doesn't have to be black to do right. We can have a black president, and it'd be the most wrong thing we could ever do.
That's right.
You know, and we've seen him stumble, and we've seen him triumph. We know that most of the time, the good things that a president does, they are written down and put in archives, but we won't know it while they're doing it. Most of the time, that's what happens. And, I'm sure there's a lot of things that Obama has done real good, but that's not what he put to life. That's not what he put to life. But, and to add to all that is that I'm convinced that we had more control over our image. Things would change.
Yes, sir.
For everybody, not just for us. But we're the kind of people that love everybody, no matter how they treat us. I don't know nobody. I ain't found them.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So short form, once again, before we go to my brother here, is that so you served the United States Air Force, right?
That's right.
And you now are disabled. And well, if we are disabled, if you're disabled, and I'm degree disabled as well, as a retired military veteran, but what do you think that about today we thought we had arrived concerning the right to vote, and now it seems like as if though they're turning their hands back on voting rights for black African Americans. Short form, how do you feel to have served your country, yet and see what Secretary of State, the governor, and others are doing at this dispensation? Short form. What do you think about that?
One of the things is we have a tendency to get tired of oppression. And when people get tired of oppression, they get complacent. And when you get complacent, sometimes we ask young people, why don't you vote? They say, well, why should I vote? They're going to do what they're going to do anyway. That's complacency. And we all have a little bit of that. We have, even us that got our eyes open, we still say, well, we got, and it's wise to choose your fight. There's nothing wrong with that. But we need to group together with people that are like minds and put something together and start pushing it forward. That's what happened to Jesse Jackson. He decided, okay, let me get together with somebody and organize something and push. Just push. You don't have to push hard. Like Leroy was saying earlier, you don't have to be a millionaire. You can keep on getting a penny. Just keep on getting a penny. Eventually you'll get to where you go. That's right. You get to where you go.
Okay, thank you very much. Brother Leroy,
Yes, sir.
What do you think about, number one, today, the event that Miss Sarah Hunt had out here today? What do you think about it, number one? And number two, the same question. Considering voting rights and the impediments that they're putting in the way of blacks in particular, what do you think about those two issues at first? And then we're going to come back and just do some general dialogue.
First of all, I'd like to thank Miss Sarah Hunt for her effort. We need efforts like this on a weekly basis. We don't ever need to stop gathering in the name of freedom, justice, and equality. We don't ever stop gathering in the name of registering to vote and to help each other. I think that Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, and all these places where our people think that freedom lives and racism don't, watch these people in their general assemblies.
Yes, sir.
When the governor of Michigan say, if you pass this law, we'll defeat Barack Hussein Obama. When we make it hard for black people to vote in this country, make it harder. It's hard anyway, but to make it harder, we take segregation out of the color, black and white, and put it into the pen, black and light. You understand? And you make it hard for me to vote, mean I won't vote for decent white folks.
Wow.
Not so matter, I'm gonna vote for you, but I won't vote for no person of good faith. That means when good people do nothing, evil people do everything. Evil people decide that they gonna do this. You decide that you're gonna do that, but your that ain't about doing anything. To think that America, Malcolm taught me one thing that I just did not believe. I didn't believe this. Malcolm said anything below Canada is in the South.
Yes, sir. I've heard him say that.
And I still hear brothers and sisters talking about what we got up north. We got this in New York. We got this in Illinois. You ain't got a damn thing. The only thing you got is an opportunity, and it's getting by the day.
Yes, sir.
Now, I hate to say this to your audience, my brother, but in the next 25 years, we will not have a voting right. The bill has been chopped away. Everything that one Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, G.B.R. did for us, half of it we have lost, and 3/4 of the second half is whittled down to nothing. This Kool-Aid done turned into just water.
Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir.
Just talk. Tell us. Educate us, man.
But there is no flavor. There's not even a hint of sugar anymore.
Brother, where you get your level of information and knowledge,
From
man? I
folks like
appreciate
you.
you. Huh?
From folks like you.
Come on, brother.
No, but believe me, the exchange of knowledge. Well, this is my 70th year on this planet. 1944, baby. You know, and all praises due to Allah. I get a chance to run into brothers and sisters like you that have studied. I was telling my brother here today, Jesus Christ was a teacher. Rabbi means teacher.
Yes, sir.
Not preacher. Aretha Franklin can preach. I need a teacher.
Yes, sir.
Teach me something. Let me walk away with some knowledge.
There's 7 words in knowledge.
All day
And
long.
they all in order.
In order.
7 words in knowledge, and they're all in order.
The
The first one, K-N-O-W.
No.
Then next one, they're using the K-N, is the N-N-O.
No.
Then N-O what? W.
All right.
Now. Then O-W-L, owl. Then L-E-D, lead. And then L-E-D-G-E. Then you got E-D-G-E. So you got 7 words in knowledge, and they're all in order. You don't have to change them around.
You can't.
And isn't it strange that in the word knowledge is 7 words, and 7 is the symbolism of what? Perfection.
Perfection.
Go ahead, my brother. You said it. You brought that out. Go ahead.
We're not going to break them 7 seals here today.
I know that's right.
Yes, sir.
We're not going to open that can of worms.
Yes, sir.
You can. But when you are blessed, come to Allah. When you're blessed to be around brothers and sisters that are about sharing
Yes, sir.
their knowledge. My brother here, that we have known each other for quite some time, we just sit here and come up with a way to address a problem that he and his partner have been having for a minute. And it was a simple solution.
What's that, my brother?
Well, he had a problem about a leader, and we come up with the solution is to get some people together in that organization and go to that leader with that problem. The books that go to your brother.
Yes, sir. May I, since you hit that point, and give it to you, brother, when you said leader, you see, in my younger years, when people couldn't understand me, I wanted to go and learn everything.
Everything.
I used to be on radio for 20 some odd years. I say, if the Klan and the white supremacists and the skinheads would allow me into their meetings, I want to go.
Right.
Because I want to know what they know.
Right.
And so that same theology or mentality that is in me by Allah, Jah, or Jehovah,
Jesus,
or Elohim, or Jesus, or the son of Amram and Yoshua Moses, it also said to me this: if we as a people can learn to do what the ancient black builders of the pyramid did, they learned to work with and among themselves. So this is what we must do. So what I did, I went to Al-Islam and the Nation of Islam, but above all, and I'm saying, I'm on point, I ain't lost my point of thought, I'm back to what you said about a leader. That's where I'm going with the leader.
Okay.
So I went to the synagogue, sat down among the Jews, learned about the Passover the way they do it, and how they set a plate of food out, 2 or 3, one for Moses, one for Elijah, and one for somebody else. And as we eating, I thought the most strangest thing I ever seen in the world. They set it outside, and they say if the spirit of Moses come by, he can eat. They say if the spirit of Elijah come by, they can eat. Well, what I did when I was in Okinawa, Japan, I listened to the Hindu. So when I got to the Hindu, I learned that with the Hindu. So when I went to the Jewish synagogue, it wasn't hard for me to accept that, because the Hindu, they take food and put in a canoe and shove it out to the ocean to their ancestral spirit, but they'll call us crazy for that. Now, leader, the Jews told me this, and then I'm going to close out on that. The Jews said, and you see on point what you said, here's what they said to me. Number one, why do you all call Dr. King Dr. King? Y'all need to call him, if anything, Reverend, because Reverend is a higher title than doctor. That's number one. The second thing I took away from the synagogue was this: why do you black folk always looking for a leader? Why don't you teach your children, each one of them, from the cradle to the grave, to be individual leaders, and when they become leaders, in order for them to destroy that leader, they got to destroy all of you. And God will not permit that, because we are his children. I'm sorry, my brother. You brought that out.
Hey,
He did it that time.
look at him.
He did it.
Thank you.
He did it that time.
You know, as they said in the old Baptist church, bring it home. It ain't got no business out there by itself. Bring it home. But when you got a chance to progress, we just figured out in a small section, less than 1/4 of what was the old city limits of Macon.
Right.
What was 77 black churches?
77 black churches.
And about 3 or 4.
At least in Macon.
Now this is just in 1/4 of Macon. This ain't the other 3/4. Right. It's 1/3 and be closer. Okay. But we ain't counting about 3 or 4 businesses in that whole area.
Right.
With that many churches, with that much money, why don't we do something to help ourselves? There's some things that prayer will not do.
That's right.
Bake a cake.
Yep.
Fry some fish.
Talk about it. It's the action.
Fry some chicken. We got to go to work to get that done. And I believe with the kind of talent that we got in Macon, and I agree with the brother, if we would do something to help, if we put some of them dollars together to start business, build business practice for our own self, then we can talk. I heard a brother today talking about what Mother Mercer is doing. That's a Baptist school, Mercer.
Yes. Yes.
But look what them folks doing with that one little school over there. One school. You got the law school, you got the engineering school, you got the medical school, and then you got the education school at Mercer. Oh, okay. And we need to get that together. And this area is more beautiful than it's ever been because of Mercer.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And why can't our churches do this?
Yeah.
We can take a little bit of area. We don't have to take the whole city.
Yes, sir.
All right. They'll come.
Start where you are and spread out.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, sir.
But we got
influence.
Yes, sir.
We got to do with the money we got. What if the banks quit lending us money? It's their bank. It's not ours because we don't own a bank.
Yep.
What if the grocery stores tell you, okay, we're going to take a loss today, ladies and gentlemen, but we're not going to sell any African Americans food.
Look out, bro. Look out. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold. Let me zoom in on you there. I'll just that one more time because people around here talking about boycotting, and how can you talk about boycotting somebody you ain't got nowhere to buy groceries? Come on, talk to me.
What if our Caucasian brothers and sisters decide today, Saturday, we're not going to sell. We're going to take the loss. Tell me one day, we're going to take the loss. We're not going to sell any African American food today. All them collard greens that they bought yesterday without that hamburger is going to be tasting horrible. How can you, as you said, how can we boycott somebody we got nothing? If I boycott you and I don't have a business over here to replace your product, what am I going to do?
It's kind of I never thought about it like that. That's kind of, and I really haven't thought about it either. That's exactly, and probably, and y'all may agree with me, that's probably the reason why when something happens in the community that's so bad that the community come together in an uproar and they burn their own stuff in their community.
But we ain't
same thing.
We ain't got
same
enough.
thing, because we don't have anything.
That's right.
But
So
we don't have
burn
enough
the
brother that's so
we burn the stuff that's in our community. It don't belong to us.
Anyway.
They didn't have crack.
But I'm thinking, why don't they go to the other side of town?
Because they're killing. They didn't have
You hear me?
crack then. But I got a remedy to that. The law enforcement officer, the law non-enforcement officer killing African American brothers. It's a simple solution to it. What you do is you African American stop killing your own people.
Yeah, amen. Yeah.
Then white folk will be too busy wondering why you done learned some sense.
Wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. I want you to remember what you just said now. Y'all excuse me, but I'm going to zoom in on this, brother. I like to zoom in when you make a point like that. Come on with that one more time, because I'm a little slow.
Okay, well, we're going to speed it up. Just for you. The remedy to stop Caucasian non-law enforcement officers from killing our young black men is for our young black men stop killing young black men. Because if we stop killing each other, imagine when Mr. Moore got killed, nobody has asked on national television, on local television, how many African Americans killed African Americans at that hour? I bet it was quadrupled the number that got killed by that one white police officer. We had an African American in Savannah with handcuffs tied, hands tied behind his back. Kicked out the window, got out the handcuffs, and pulled a gun. How in the world are you going to get locked up without being frisked by a police officer?
Something wrong with that.
Something wrong? That's the second one. That wasn't the first one. That was the second one. How you gonna do that?
And you made something come to my mind, and then when you said that, I was looking at. I saw something on the television that disturbed me the other week where this white guy, they had handcuffs on him, and they had I guess it was the FBI on one side, the FBI on the other side, and the FBI behind him, bringing him out of the building. And as he was coming out of the building and the camera was on him, they was explaining the reason why they were bringing him out. And the reason was that he got mad with his ex-girlfriend, and he killed her, and he cut her up, took out his skillets, pots, and he cooked her, and he ate her.
Okay.
Now,
Well, that's not uncommon.
Now, this really stems from when you let a part of society just do what they want to do. Eventually, it's going to lead them to destruction.
But if we decide today that we're gonna stop killing each other, and this is the sermon that I don't think but one black preacher in America preaches, or one teacher. Brother Louis Farrakhan talks about it all the time. Now, Reverend Chickenbone don't say too much about that. That ain't in with the pot. That don't bring in money. So I'm not going to talk about it.
But now, I also follow the minister Louis Farrakhan. I teach. I mean, I learned from all of them. Now, I didn't just start yesterday. And so, why do you think, my beautiful brothers, why do you think so many people try to find reason to dislike or throw stones at Minister Farrakhan?
Because the Jesus process is a part of the slavery process. When you go in the average, I asked the 16-year-old boy, excuse me, young man, close your eyes. And he did. I said, open your eyes. And he did. I said, what color is Jesus? He said, black. 1 in a million. Because when you close your eyes, and someone said Jesus, when you open your eyes, you said white. If Jesus is white, and he's the Son of God, then God is white. But if Jesus is black, and he's the Son of God, that means that Daddy black. See, Minister Farrakhan teach you about you. The last thing I want to learn is me. With all my faults and fallacies, don't teach me about me.
But you've been taught that.
Willie Lynch taught slave farmers, slave owners, not to kill the slaves. When he came up the James River in 1712, he said, this looked like Rome. You got these Africans hanging on poles and sticks and stuff. This looked like ancient Rome. You see what happened to ancient Rome? It failed. Y'all quit killing them. Turn them against themselves. Turn the light one against the black one. Turn the brown one against the real black one. Go get the woman. Go get that woman. And if you get her, she'll get that man. Ladies' night in the nightclub ain't for men.
Run that by me again, brother.
Ladies' night
Yeah.
in your local nightclub ain't for women. It's for women. It's for them to come there to bring you. Because where the women going, we go. And if you go in the average church, if I want to start a Baptist church today, I get 5 women. An average of 5. Because if I get an average of 5 this Sunday, they go home and tell somebody I might have 5 men and 5 more women next Sunday. That's 15 people in 1 week. The Army don't recruit that fast.
Earlier, Leroy, you said something to me about something or some little small 5-foot man from Sandersville.
Washington,
Yeah, that started the movement that Minister Farrakhan is following, and a lot of people don't understand. They say that Farrakhan and Elijah Muhammad is racist, but I think many of them fail to understand that they got their teaching from a white man.
Master Farad
Muhammad was as white as they come, and he dropped this knowledge like it was hot.
Yeah.
And so, how do you think people just don't know that, or they don't take time to study it?
El-Haj Malik Shabazz Malcolm X said, I've studied with brothers with the darkest of darkest skin and the whitest of whitest skin. There is no color in Islam. Color is only in Christianity. There is no color. Master Farad Muhammad was as white as what we call Caucasian, Anglo-Saxon, European color that you can get. But he came with the knowledge of the universe. When you pass up universal knowledge, go shoot yourself. Because you are dead. You are dead. And he took a man from Deep Step, Washington County, Georgia, a place called Sandersville. He came to a place called Macon, Georgia, worked at Cherokee Brick and Tile in Macon, Georgia, moved to Detroit like a lot of people of color did during that time, and got a job. Master Farad Muhammad came to visit this man and dropped the knowledge 93 million miles from here to the sun. Elijah Poole hadn't heard about no million miles from the sun. How many drops of water is in the Pacific Ocean? What this man talking about?
What is the circumference of the earth?
What is the distance around this ball?
Yes, sir.
You understand? I can imagine in my mind's eye this little bitty 5 foot nothing man sitting up there talking about, what the hell he talking about?
A white man at that.
A white man at that. Can you imagine?
Dropping it like it's hot.
Just left the plantation. And here Massa put the knowledge of the universe on this brother.
And the history of the black man, if you don't mind.
On this brother.
Isn't that something? He had our knowledge.
There was no books that the Honorable Elijah Poole at that time, there was no books that he could have studied that would have told him about him. In Macon, in Sandersville, in Georgia, probably in the United States. At that, this was in the 30s.
Well, based upon what you just said, and when I initiated that introduction into that knowledge that you just dropped, what do you think? What do you think that one of the greatest assets of Elijah Muhammad? Because we say that he was a racist because he taught black pride. He taught to do for self. And I think, and you can shine light on this after I make this statement, because Louis Farrakhan talked about that they did make mistakes in the Nation of Islam.
They were human.
Because the knowledge was too powerful, and he said that to put a weapon, which is knowledge, which is the deep truth of the black man's history, to drop that in a child's hand, he would take it's like putting a 38 in a baby's hand. He could kill himself, made it out in the family, and all he's doing is excited by the bang. But here's what Farrakhan said. Farrakhan said Elijah was not a racist when he taught black folk to love black folk. He said that Elijah taught him that the black man had been pushed down so deep in the mud, that only his eyes was peeping out. And that because of we not knowing the knowledge and the greatness of our black skin and kin, when we see the man in the mud, we take our feet and step on him and put that out and then make it worse and go deep in the mud. So Farrakhan teaches that if Elijah Muhammad was teaching that, he knew what it took to get that black man just up out the mud. So it took all of that hard teaching. But if you notice, the Honorable Farrakhan started out with that, but now that he has gotten us up where we can see, and we just up so we can see a little bit, he softened his message a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But the first thing I heard, I was frightened. I walked by the mouse on Church Street in Norfolk, Virginia, a church in Bremerton, nightclubs on one end, churches on the other. I saw this brother in this black suit, white shirt, red bow tie, standing up there talking about white folks. When I couldn't move, the door was open. I'm looking in the door, but I'm scared to death. I never heard this. But then I heard a brother named El Shabazz Malik and Malcolm X say, it's much better to teach a man to hate someone than to teach him to hate himself.
Wow. That's right.
Because the first thing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us is self. If you don't know who you are, you don't know nobody. You can't know nobody if you don't know you. And it's much better to teach a man to go out there and kick a tree than it is to blow his brains out. He threw when he killed himself. If he killed a tree, we can grow another. You know what I'm saying? This is the teaching that I don't think our Christian brothers want us to do, because, and I don't like saying this, but I'm just saying what I see. My Christian brothers are more about $1 in their pocket than they are about the salvation of a race.
Yes.
Our racism is inward. It's turned against us. We hate us. The reason our children are killing themselves is because they hate themselves. How in the hell can you be in the project talking about my turf, and I'm going to kill you if you come over here And I don't even own the street. I don't own the house. And if the folks that own the project catch my mama with this man in here, I'm homeless. How in the world I got turned?
And the average black person that lives in the projects, I think they fail to understand, because they stay there generation after generation, some of them.
To be a stopgap.
So what they fail to understand that when you allow God or Jesus or Muhammad or Allah or Jah to remove that mud from your eyes, then you will see that it is what it is a project.
That's right.
And a project is something that ain't even real. It's just a project.
It's just a project.
And so when you got a project, and that project, no, you get your axe busted up and throw it away. It's just a project. Then you start over again with a new project.
We won't tell our people.
That's exactly what happened. It still happened.
Yes,
We won't tell our, if you want a perfect example of a project, the greatest project in America is located at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And you can only occupy it 4 years at a time. Now I want to go to Tender Heights here and stay there for a lifetime, 4 or 5 generations. But the greatest project in America at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, you can only occupy it 4 years at a time.
That's right.
And you can only get 8.
Yeah.
Right.
And you got to go.
That should tell us something.
If we
You
listen,
gotta get out of there.
if we listen, until we start teaching what the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, until we start teaching what it says, not what we want to do.
And the Gita among the Indians. Because there's a book called the Gita among the Indians that's very deep. And I recommend black folk getting it. They've not translated the Gita. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Look, we right here, right down the street, the creek,
Yeah.
the Cherokee,
Yes, sir.
the Ogeechee, the Okmulgee, the Yamaka, right here. This is their land. The Indian mounds are right over here, less than a mile from where you standing.
Bro, I got to go there one day. Me and you gonna walk down there, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
You haven't been there?
No, I haven't been there.
The second largest ceremonial mound in the United States. The Trail of Tears. I had the privilege of interviewing the chief of the Creek Nation, Chief Michael Haney, right here in Macon.
Wow, this is an educational day for Brother Ryan, boy. I'm not gonna leave here now. No, bring it on, brother.
He told me about the Trail of Tears for his
I've been
people.
pregnant for a long time. I'm about to give birth today, brother.
All right.
Have mercy. The woman talking about 9 months. I'm talking about 62 years.
He told me about his people. See, everybody, we the only people on the continent of North America, these 48 adjacent states, that don't have a culture. The first thing got stripped. Kunta Kinte was the best thing because we saw. Beat you to death. What's your name, boy? Kunta Kinte. What's your name? Kunta Kinte.
Tom Purdy, too, though.
Couldn't take it. Toby done damn near beat him to death.
Yep.
Trying to take his name.
Lost his foot.
Why you want to take my name? Because the name was what the man gave you when he offered you up to God. Allah. Here's Kunta Kinte. That's culture.
Birthright.
We ain't got nothing. We are in more different religious organizations than any other group of people on the continent of North America. If the Ku Klux Klan would let us in tomorrow, guess what?
We'll be in there.
Guess what? It'd be full of Negroes with white sheets.
We got some in there now.
I heard.
Take over.
I don't know them. I don't want to know. Don't tell me about it. Don't tell me. But if they start publicizing, we accept the Negroes. We done repented. Y'all come on in. Negroes be breaking down the Klan door.
To get to wear white sheets.
That is so ironic. I tell you.
It's pitiful.
I can't
But what
figure
we
that.
got to do, I was fortunate, just like you. Thank you, my brother. Almighty God let me do Heavenly Speaks for 20 years. From 1973 to 1993. I had a chance to say things to black people in Macon and Middle Georgia that other people, they had the chance. They had the chance. They didn't take it. And some of them were extremely jealous. I was starving to death just trying to do the program. But Negroes walking around mad with me Oh, he think he this, he think. How in the hell you know what I'm thinking without asking me? I ain't got no portal in my brain. I just don't leak my thoughts out. But you get a chance to teach people, teach them. And don't, if you right, righteousness will get you killed.
Amen.
But if you ain't willing to die, don't tell the truth.
Right.
That's the way I felt about it. I'm willing to die. Martin said if you hadn't found something worth dying for, you ain't fit to live. I'll die for what I believe in.
That's right.
Because if I put my hand in the hand of Allah and say, lead me, guide me, keep me, then I ain't going to do like Lot's wife. I ain't going to be looking back. I'm going head on. Mm-hmm. I'm doing what I'm doing now because Almighty God said do it, not because Leroy wanted to do it. If I had the power not to do what I'm doing now, I wouldn't do it.
Well, moreover, Leroy, Brother Leroy, another thing too, and we get ready to close this out, but I can go all night with this, and Lord knows I do want to, I want to use up some gas, because if I don't use the gas, somebody else may use it. Okay. But anyway, what made you change from the way that you were brought up, maybe? What changed your brain cells to make you different?
The hearing the teachings. See, as a young man said today, God, all predators have eyes in the front of their head. All prey have eyes on the side. We got.
Wait a minute. See, y'all have to excuse me now. I'm finna do this thing again now. I'm at y'all again. I'm drawing on you real close, brother, because I need you to say it one more time for me, because I'm a little slow.
Okay, bro. We're gonna speed it up then. Okay. All predators have eyes in the front of their head. All prey have eyes on the side. I have 2 ears to hear and 1 mouth to speak. So I should soak up what I can see and what I can hear and let my brain
process it.
And then out of my mouth. The old folks used to say engage brain before opening mouth. It make you wiser. But when I heard the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it just stirred up a million. I couldn't stop asking questions. The brother told me one day, he said, do you ever stop asking questions? I said, I don't stop breathing. What changed me is to hear. I asked the Sunday school teacher when I was 9 years old, if Adam and Eve had children, they don't ever talk about the 2 daughters. And Adam and Eve children had children. How did they get the children? He said, you're being managed. And sassy. I was scared, because you had went home and told my mama that. It ain't like the NFL today. My mama would have beat me with a switch. Don't you know? So yes, I learned that after looking back over my life, I learned that I had the ability to question as a child. And that's all Ebony Speaks was, the television show I did for 20 years. I would call you and ask you some questions. I was educated. Hopefully my audience was educated. And I had the privilege and the greatest honor of my life. I interviewed Minister Louis Farrakhan for an hour live on television in Macon, Georgia. I saw little white teenagers sit around at his feet.
What year was this?
Oh my God!
Okay, go ahead, keep rolling that. I met Minister Farrakhan here in Macon in 90 or 91. When he did a message, he did a message called "Stop the Killing."
That's right.
He did here in Macon. That's when I met him.
At Central High School and at the City Auditorium.
And that's right, yeah. Sure did. And I was at the auditorium.
I was on stage at the auditorium.
Where I met him at. And what got me about him was the fact that... Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
He allowed me to sit on stage. I have never been so impressed with another male in my whole life as I was with this man. Not fascinated, but thoroughly impressed. Because the righteousness in that brother just spewed out. His secretary told me in the studio at WMAZ, Mr. Thomas, please don't ask the minister about the Jewish situation. Minister Farrakhan looked at me and said, Brother Thomas, whose television show is this? I said, it's mine. He said, ask me any doggone thing you want. Amen.
Look here, brother. Let's respect them. They get ready to have fun. We've been here long enough. maybe some of the little kids want to come out here and sit where we are sitting and following the teaching of Islam. I think it's the way of peace for us to do such. My beautiful brother, what's your name once again?
James.
Okay, and I'm hoping we can go down to the, what you call an Indian mound? What you call it?
Yeah, definitely.
I want us to make that trip.
Muggy Mountain.
Okay.
That's
Once
a
again,
learning experience.
yes, sir. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press. I'm George Boss Ryan. Thank you. Bye-bye. We're gone.